Hello and welcome live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Gautam Roy, and coming up in the next 30 minutes, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates the country's longest cable bridge in the state of Gujarat, lays the foundation stones for several projects in Rajkot city as well. Former US President Donald Trump extends his winning streak, beats Nikki Haley in her home state, South Carolina's Republican primary. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese pledges to provide support in the wildfires that have struck Victoria State. Forest fires have forced evacuations in western towns. And India are 152 runs away from a series win against England in the Ranchi Test. Ashwin picks up his 35th 5-wicket Test haul, equaling Anil Kumble's feat in India. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi began his power-packed day of Gujarat visit from Dwarka, where he dedicated to the nation Doordarshan Setu, connecting Oka mainland and Bet Dwarka island, built at a cost of around 900 crore Indian rupees. It's the longest cable-stayed bridge in the country of around 2.32 kilometers. Doordarshan Setu will ease the transportation and significantly reduce the time of devotees travelling between Dwarka and Bet Dwarka. Before the bridge's construction, pilgrims had to rely on boat transport to reach Bet Dwarka. This iconic bridge will also serve as a major tourist attraction for Devbhoomi Dwarka. Now, with an aim to inaugurate projects transforming the boosting connectivity, ensuring better healthcare and education in Dwarka and Rajkot, Prime Minister Modi dedicated a pipeline project at Badinar involving replacement of existing offshore lines, abandoning existing pipeline and manifold. The PM also dedicated Rajkot Oka, Rajkot Jetalsar, Somnath and Jetalsar Vansajalia rail electrification projects to the nation. The PM laid the foundation stone of several road projects as well, a thermal power station at Jamnagar among others. And the day also saw Prime Minister Modi going underwater in the deep sea and praying at the site where the submerged city of Dwarka is said to be located. This experience offered a rare and profound connection to India's spiritual and historical roots. Dwarka is the ancient city linked closely with Lord Krishna and was a hub of grandeur and prosperity in ancient days. The PM paid homage at Dwarka, a city that continues to captivate imagination with its rich cultural and spiritual legacy. He also offered peacock feathers as a tribute to Lord Krishna underwater.
आज जब मैं गहरे समुद्र के भीतर द्वारिका जी के दर्शन कर रहा था तो मैं पुरातन वही भव्यता, वही दिव्यता मनोमन अनुभव कर रहा था। मैंने वहां भगवान श्री कृष्ण को, द्वारिकाधीश को प्रणाम किया, उन्हें नमन किया। मैं अपने साथ मोर पंख भी ले कर गया था, जिसे मैंने प्रभु कृष्ण का स्मरण करते हुए वहां अर्पित किया। मेरा मन बहुत गदगद है, मैं भाव विभोर हूं। दशकों तक जो सपना संजोया हो और उसे आज उस पवित्र भूमि को स्पर्श कर करके पूरा हुआ होगा, आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं मेरे भीतर कितना अभूत आनंद होगा।
And later in the evening, Prime Minister Modi reached Rajkot, where he inaugurated multiple development projects. The PM inaugurated 5 All India Institutes of Medical Sciences, that's AIIMS, in Rajkot, Bhatinda, Rai Bareli, Kalyani and Mangalagiri. Prime Minister Modi also laid the foundation stone of multiple development projects worth over $5.8 billion. And the PM also visited AIIMS Rajkot in the state of Gujarat, where he is on a days-long visit. It's spread over 201 acres. The AIIMS at Rajkot is said to revolutionize healthcare services for Gujarat and nearby regions. Also earlier in the day, India's Prime Minister lauded the strength and influence of women in Indian society during his last monthly radio broadcast, Mann Ki Baat, before the general elections. He emphasized the importance of women's empowerment and encouraged first-time voters to participate in the upcoming elections and exercise their democratic right to vote.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the nation on Akashvani, discussing various issues concerning the people of the country in his Mann Ki Baat. Recognizing the strength of women, Prime Minister Narendra Modi stated that the success of women in various fields is highly inspiring.
आज भारत की नारी शक्ति हर क्षेत्र में प्रगति की नई ऊंचाइयों को छू रही है। कुछ वर्ष पहले तक किसने सोचा था कि हमारे देश में गांव में रहने वाली महिलाएं भी ड्रोन उड़ाएंगी, लेकिन आज ये संभव हो रहा है। आज तो गांव-गांव में ड्रोन दीदी की इतनी चर्चा हो रही है, हर किसी की जुबान पर नमो ड्रोन दीदी ये चल पड़ा है। हर कोई इसके विषय में चर्चा कर रहा है।
Emphasizing the significance of technology in wildlife conservation, Prime Minister highlighted that the government's efforts in recent years have led to an increase in the number of tigers in the country.
इस वर्ष वर्ल्ड वाइल्ड लाइफ डे की थीम में डिजिटल इनोवेशन को सर्वोपरि रखा गया है। चंद्रपुर जिले में इंसान और बाघों के संघर्ष को कम करने के लिए आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की मदद ली जा रही है। यहाँ गांव और जंगल की सीमा पर कैमरे लगाए गए हैं। जब भी कोई बाघ गांव के करीब आता है, तब एआई की मदद से स्थानीय लोगों को मोबाइल पर अलर्ट मिल जाता है।
Referring to the Melghat Tiger Reserve in the Indian western state of Maharashtra, Prime Minister Modi commended the efforts of the tribal families residing in Khatkali village near the reserve.
महाराष्ट्र के मेलघाट टाइगर रिजर्व के पास खटकली गांव में रहने वाले आदिवासी परिवारों ने सरकार की मदद से अपने घर को होम स्टे में बदल दिया है। ये उनकी कमाई का बहुत बड़ा साधन बन रहा है। इसी गांव में रहने वाले कोरकू जनजाति के प्रकाश जामकर जी ने अपनी 2 हेक्टेयर जमीन पर 7 कमरों वाला होम स्टे तैयार किया है।
Prime Minister emphasized that India's beauty lies in its diversity and the myriad colors of culture. Recognizing the hard work of Muhammad Mansha from Gandarwal, Jammu and Kashmir, Prime Minister praised his efforts in preserving the Gojri language.
जम्मू कश्मीर में गांदरबल के मोहम्मद मानशाह जी पिछले 3 दशकों से गोजरी भाषा को संरक्षित करने के प्रयासों में जुटे रहे हैं। वे गुजर बकरवाल समुदाय से आते हैं, जो कि एक जनजातीय समुदाय है। चुनौतियों के बीच उनका अपनी भाषा को संरक्षित करने का संकल्प दृढ़ हुआ।
Prime Minister also touched upon various issues, including the use of AI in farming and weather forecasting. Syed Afzarul Hassan for DD India.
Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has pledged on Sunday to provide whatever support is needed to assist Victoria State in the days-long wildfire emergency that has razed homes after authorities warned extreme heat could fan the blazes this week.
This is a very difficult time, and over this period we've seen floods, we've seen bushfires, we've seen heat waves, we've seen these events that have had a real impact on Australians. It's a reminder of the need for us to be vigilant, for us to continue to work and act on the threat that is climate change, with an increased number of extreme weather events and increased intensity of those events.
The wildfire emergency has killed livestock, destroyed 6 homes and forced more than 2,000 people to leave western towns and head to the city of Ballarat in west of the state capital Melbourne. Australia is in the grip of an El Nino weather pattern, which is typically associated with extreme phenomena such as wildfires, cyclones and droughts. More than 15 bushfires have been burning in Victoria on Sunday, with the most serious blaze ranked at the second highest danger rating near several remote towns, according to the state's emergency authority. Around 1,000 firefighters, supported by more than 50 aircraft, have battled the fires since they started. The last 2 bushfire seasons in Australia have been subdued compared to the 2019-2020 Black Summer, when bushfires destroyed an area the size of Turkey, killing 33 people and an estimated 3 billion animals. Hungary is finally prepared to approve Sweden's bid to join NATO after nearly 2 years of delays. Sweden applied to join the transatlantic alliance in a historic shift in policy prompted by Russia's full-scale conflict with Ukraine. Hungary was the last member of NATO holding out on Sweden's application. Hungary's Prime Minister met Swedish counterpart on Friday and said he'd managed to rebuild trust. Now, when Sweden joins NATO, it will help the alliance redress its vulnerability in northwestern Europe, the Baltic Sea, a shared waterway with Russia, with a bottleneck for access to ports in 8 states, including Germany. Stockholm is aiming to spend 2% of its GDP on defense by 2026 to increase its military capacity across land, sea and air. According to the chief of the military, the Nordic country aims to double its number of conscripts from an estimated 24,000 in 2025 to 50,000 in 2035. Sweden has been operating submarines in the Baltic since 1904. Sweden hopes that submarines will give the NATO a strategic edge in the Baltic Sea. Portugal's 2-week official electoral campaign begins on Sunday ahead of parliamentary elections scheduled for the 10th of March. The election is being held after a socialist government led by Antonio Costa collapsed last November following a corruption investigation. According to analysts, neither the centre-left nor the centre-right are expected to clinch an outright majority of parliamentary seats in the ballot, and the outcome would be a hung house. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live, Donald Trump scores a narrower than forecast win over Nikki Haley in her home state, South Carolina. The US and British forces carry out additional strikes against the Houthis in Yemen. And R. Ashwin's 5-wicket haul against England guides India to a commanding position in the Ranchi Test.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights and authentic information.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, Donald Trump has beaten Nikki Haley once again in another primary for the Republican presidential candidacy emerging triumphant. This time, his win has come in a state where Nikki Haley has been governor twice. Now, this may look really bad for her considering her previous losses, but she's still done better than what many polls had been forecasting, prompting her to promise that she'll stay in the race.
Former US President Donald Trump aced the Republican primaries in the state of South Carolina on Saturday. This was an easy win for Trump, which was also predicted in multiple opinion polls, despite having a litany of criminal charges.
We ran two great races, but there's never been a spirit like this. And I just want to say that I have never seen the Republican Party so unified as it is right now. Never been like that. America first. We're putting America first. First of all, my family. Right now, we're a laughing stock all over the world. Our country is going to be respected again, respected like never before.
Republican primary candidate Nikki Haley campaigned excessively in her native state, but only managed to gather 39.2% of the votes. The loss for Haley is also personal, as she had earlier been 2 times governor of South Carolina. However, she outperformed expectations from the opinion polls and insisted on staying in the presidential race.
The younger generation, my children's generation, knows it better than anyone. They deserve better. They deserve leadership. And so I will keep fighting for them and for you and for all of America. Today is not the end of our story. We'll keep fighting for America and we won't rest until America wins.
Till now, Trump has dominated all 5 contests in the states of Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, the US Virgin Islands, and now in Haley's home state.
US and British forces carried out strikes against more than a dozen Houthi targets in Yemen, the latest round of military action against the Iran-linked group that continues to attack shipping in the Gulf of Aden. The United States has carried out near daily strikes against the Houthis, who control the most populous parts of Yemen, and have said their attacks on shipping are in solidarity with Palestinians as Israel strikes Gaza. The strikes have so far failed to halt the Houthis' attacks, which have upset global trade and raised shipping rates. Syed Absarul Hassan reports.
In another effort to quell the Houthi militia in Yemen, the US and UK have conducted missile strikes on over a dozen targets inside Yemen. Warplanes from the US-led coalition launched a strike on the Yemeni capital Sana'a late on Saturday. Witnesses reported at least 4 missiles hitting the Al-Siana military camp located north of downtown Sana'a, resulting in significant explosions and fires. In a joint statement, they said that the military operation targeted 18 Houthi sites spread across 8 locations in Yemen. These included underground storage facilities for weapons and missiles, air defense systems, radar installations, and a helicopter. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said their strikes were meant to further disrupt and degrade the capabilities of the Iranian-backed Houthi militia. We will continue to make clear to the Houthi that they will bear the consequences if they do not stop their illegal attacks, which harms Middle Eastern economies, cause environmental damages, and disrupt the delivery of humanitarian aid to Yemen and other countries. Houthis have launched at least 7 strikes this week, targeting US and UK vessels in the Gulf of Aden and claimed responsibilities for the attack. The group's strikes are disrupting the vital Suez Canal shortcut that accounts for about 12% of global maritime traffic, forcing a longer and more expensive route around Africa. The European Union too has launched a naval mission to the Red Sea to restore and safeguard freedom of navigation. The strikes have so far failed to halt the Houthis' attack on vessels. After Gaza conflict, Houthis started targeting vessels crossing the Arabian and Red Sea. This has upset global trade and raised shipping rates. Syed Absarul Hassan for DD India.
Nepal's Foreign Minister Narayan Prasad Saud, accompanied with his wife, visited Ayodhya and worshipped Ram Lala at the iconic Ram Temple. During the visit, the Foreign Minister remarked about the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya holding immense significance as a pilgrimage site. He further mentioned that in addition to Ayodhya, efforts are underway to strengthen cultural ties with Nepal's Pashupatinath and Varanasi's Baba Vishwanath. The Foreign Minister of Nepal highlighted the profound cultural relationship between India and Nepal, emphasizing its depth not only between the two governments but also among the people.
भारत के बीच में बहुत ही गहरा सांस्कृतिक संबंध रहा है। हम लोगों के बीच के दोनों सरकार के बीच में ही नहीं है, जनता के बीच में भी उतना ही गहरा संबंध रहा है। भगवान राम की शादी माता जानकी के साथ जनकपुर में राम जानकी मंदिर है, जनकपुर में हुई थी। इसीलिए हमारे बीच में जो यह गहरा संबंध है, ये सांस्कृतिक रूप से भी महत्वपूर्ण है।
And India's Prime Minister Modi recently made two crucial visits to the UAE and Qatar. His West Asian tour reflected a strategic shift in the country's engagement with West Asia. This shift is underpinned by 5 factors. First, enhanced diplomatic engagement. Since PM Modi took office in 2014, he's travelled to West Asia 15 times. The second factor is in the political domain. The establishment of the I2U2 group in 2022 and the declaration of the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor have underscored India's radical reorientation of geopolitical engagement with West Asia. Third, a departure of viewing West Asia through a religious lens. Fourth, the last decade has seen the relationship move from purely transactional to strategic in the economic domain. And the last decade has also seen the expansion of counter-terror collaboration between India on the one hand and Saudi Arabia and UAE on the other. Now, the latest survey of the National Sample Survey Office under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation has found that the per capita monthly household expenditure climbed more than double in 22-23 as compared to 2011-12. The survey aims to generating estimates of household monthly per capita consumption expenditure, that's MPCE, and its distribution separately for the rural and urban sectors of the country, for states and union territories, and for different socio-economic groups. The data will play a key role in reviewing critical economic indicators, including the gross domestic product, poverty levels, and the consumer price inflation index. India has also seen a significant surge in medical tourism, with a 66% increase in foreign travellers seeking medical treatment in 2021. India offers world-class healthcare at low cost as compared to developed nations. In 2020, 183,000 tourists came and the number went up to 304,000 in 2021 and over 1.4 million tourists visited in 2022. India is also ranked 10th in the Medical Tourism Index. The growing numbers are a testament to the progress of India in the global healthcare ecosystem, with the country rightly positioning itself as preferred destination for medical value travel or medical tourism for modern as well as traditional treatments and rejuvenation. India also offers therapies based on traditional medicine like yoga, Ayurveda and Unani. India is also a favourable destination to conduct trials with large and diverse patient pool. The 5th edition of the joint military exercise Dharm Guardian between the Indian Army and the Japan Ground Self-Defence Force commenced on Sunday at Mahajan field firing ranges in Rajasthan. The 2-week military exercise is aimed at tackling mutual security challenges. Exercise Dharm Guardian is an annual exercise and is conducted alternatively in India and Japan. The contingent of both the sides comprises of 40 personnel each. The aim of the exercise is to foster military cooperation and enhance combined capabilities to execute joint operations in semi-urban environment under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter. Now, as part of events planned to celebrate the 48th Raising Day of the Indian Coast Guard, a day at sea was conducted by ICG Regional Headquarters of Chennai Harbour on Sunday. On this occasion, various guests, including families of Indian Coast Guard personnel, officials from Tamil Nadu State Administration, witnessed the operational prowess and capabilities at sea. The activities included high-speed maneuvers by interceptor boats, formation maneuvers by large ships, and rescue of twin survivors at sea. Let's also quickly get you some sports. Spin twins Ravichandran Ashwin and Kuldeep Yadav combined to rout England in their second innings and put India on course for a series-clinching victory in the 4th Test on Sunday. Off-spinner Ashwin and Kuldeep shared 9 wickets on a turning track to bundle out England for 145 inside 2 sessions. Opener Zach Crawley top-scored with 60 and chasing 192 for victory. India cruised to 40 for no loss at stumps on day 3. The hosts are 2-1 up in the 5-test series. Also, Indian spinner Ravichandran Ashwin surpassed Anil Kumble for the most wickets taken in tests within India during the 3rd day of the 4th Test against England at Ranchi. Ashwin picked the wickets of Ben Duckett and Ori Pope to take his tally to 351. Kumble had amassed 350 wickets in 63 Test matches in India. Ashwin also pipped Kumble in terms of 5-wicket hauls. Ashwin has 26 fifers while Kumble had 25. And that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X as well as Instagram. We'll be back with more news and updates as they break here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks a lot for watching DD India Live.